Machines, buildings, roads, fuel. What is our biggest expense on this entire farm? Let me write it real big for you. Time. Our commodity that we can't get back. We can never get it back. We can buy more fences. We can buy more machines. We can buy more buildings. We can buy more fuel. We can buy more, build more roads. We can maintain all that stuff. But without that stinking time, that is your biggest commodity on your farm. Folks, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but I drew some spokes inside of a wheel right here for you. And this video is brought to you because I get this question all of the time. How do you afford to farm? How do you afford to keep this wheel spinning? And this wheel, the central focus is farm success. Guys, about 13 years ago, my name is Josh, by the way. If this was the first time you've ever seen my channel, my name is Josh. I am otherwise known as the Stoney Ridge Farmer. I live here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina in a beautiful, gorgeous farm that I bought myself and built myself. Now, that's not to brag. That's to talk about you following your dreams and you following what you want in your heart with your life. And that's why we're out here talking about this wheel with these many, many spokes that keep the farm going. Now, on this farm, we're on a 150-acre first-generation farm project. And let me just tell you, it's a monumental undertaking to try and start a farm from zero, from scratch, from square one. All of the land that you see out here was forested, okay? Now, we're not talking about beautiful rainforest or anything like that. We're talking about this land was all grown up in brush and briars and trees and bushes and saplings, I guess, just a little beyond saplings. So this was a tobacco farm that had been abandoned or not used for a number of years, nearly 40 years. This side of my farm, 60 acres, and that side of the farm, which was about 90 acres. Now, that side of the farm was used up until the 80s. This side of the farm, I don't think was farmed since the 60s, really. All of the fields that I've cleared here on the Stoney Ridge Farm were once crop fields. They once had horses and cattle and all sorts of stuff. But over the years, they became neglected. And the reason they became neglected is because land is expensive to maintain. It's super, super expensive. And here we talk about the spokes of the wheel that have made this farm successful. 2 years ago was the first time that I showed a profit on this farm. Now, what's really important, I get this comment, I get this question all the time from viewers, and guys, bear with me, stick with me to the end. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn about finance, you're going to learn about farm finance, you're going to learn about some of the money that you're leaving on the table by ignoring this and being, farmers are not lazy people, but being lazy-minded, or just physically lazy. You've got to learn, and you can burn the candle at both ends to the point where you're just totally exhausted and you're not enjoying it anymore too, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, spokes on a wheel. Each one of these little spokes on a wheel, and we're going to very, very much simplify this. The fencing on the farm. Let's talk about cost. What are our input costs on the farm? Well, fences, right? The most expensive part of this farm is the fencing at about $14 to $16 a foot. $14 to $16 a linear foot constructed. That is expensive. Imagine that. There are 2 miles of fencing on this farm. What else we got? Machines, right? Buildings, roads, and fuel. Boom, 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 boom. Machines, buildings, roads, fuel. What is our biggest expense on this entire farm? Let me write it real big for you. Time. Our commodity that we can't get back. We can never get it back. We can buy more fences. We can buy more machines. We can buy more buildings. We can buy more fuel. We can buy more, build more roads. We can maintain all that stuff. But without that stinking time, that is your biggest commodity on your farm. Now, how did I take nothing and make something? We'll give you a little backstory here. I grew up on about a 350-acre farm up about 10 miles from me in Southwest Virginia, near Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. My grandpa had cattle. Growing up, I didn't like cattle. Growing up, I didn't care about the farm. My parents split up when I was 13 years old, much like a lot of folks my age. I'm 47 years old. I'm a Generation X guy, born in 1977. I grew up on the farm, in the country. We raised cattle, we raised pigs, chickens, goats, all that stuff. When we needed eggs, I went over to the barn as a kid. It was my job to keep up the barn. I took care of the animals. I kept the pig pen clean. Every year we'd process 2 or 3 hogs. Dad would sell pork products. Mama would make biscuits in the morning. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon is what I'm trying to tell you here. Mama would make biscuits in the morning. Dad would take them to work and sell them, and that would help pay for the house and help pay for all the equipment and help pay for the farm. And gosh, we would grow a huge garden. We had a U-picket garden. In other words, back in the day, you called in on this little radio show. It was called the Swap Shop. We would call the Swap Shop, give them our phone number, give them our address, and people could come down to pick out of our garden. And we had a garden that was about 3 acres, which netted a profit for my parents back in the day to make money, to figure out a way. So when Dad bought the hogs and raised the hogs, it was expensive. So in order to feed the hogs, we sold the biscuits. Mama made the biscuits, we sold the biscuits, and that's what paid for the hogs. And the chickens, we sold the eggs. And the garden products, we sold the stuff in the garden. It was great. Our input costs were taken away by those returns. Now, let's talk about the returns on the farm. What are the returns on this farm? And this is where we're really going to get into it, guys, because this is more than a farm, okay? I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've been making videos here on the Stoney Ridge Farm for we're over a decade, okay? Over a decade. And I've found a secret that you guys need to know. It's not a secret. So here's what I'm selling. Local, I'm selling a little bit of beef. That ain't making very much money. I'm selling cattle. That's starting to make a little bit of money. I'm really selling eggs once in a while. Not making a whole heck of a lot of that. Honey, okay, with my honeybees whenever they survive. So we got beef, cattle, eggs, and honey. And what else? What else is keeping this gigantic place? This is a $2 million piece of property. What else is keeping this? Here's what we're selling. Social media videos. I'm not selling you anything in a social media video, guys. I'm letting you know about something super important that everybody should consider. If you want to start a farm in 2026, or if you want to start a farm at any point in the future, you are leaving one of your commodities on the table if you're not creating a little bit of content around that. Now, I want you guys to reach back and pat yourself on the back right now, because you are the absolute reason that everything around you that you see here, everything from the TYM tractor to the Honda ATV to that building right there to this whiteboard to the outdoor kitchen that I'm standing in right here and this beautiful farm and every cow on it is the responsibility of you guys watching the Stoney Ridge Farmer YouTube channel. Can you do this? Yes, you can. Why don't you do this? I don't know how to edit. I didn't know how to edit. I don't know how to film. I didn't know how to film. I don't have a camera. You got a cell phone in your pocket. Many, many, many excuses as to why we could fail. Everybody that fails always has an excuse as to why they fail. We've got to put all of the spokes in this wheel together to earn a living on this farm. So I'm a registered nurse. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I'm former law enforcement. I went to college. I have a science degree. I didn't get into all this with a light heart. I knew it was going to be super expensive to build a farm. I dreamed of farming. I did not dream, and much like you guys probably watching this, I did not dream of social media. I didn't wake up in the morning and think, oh gosh, it'd be so nice to breathe fresh air and make videos all day long. I didn't dream of that. That wasn't my dream, much like you. I want to grow a big, beautiful garden. I want to sell some squash at the farmer's market. I want to sell my eggs. I want to raise honeybees. I'm interested in all this stuff. I want to grow good green grass. I want to mow hay. I want to dig ditches. I want to do all that stuff. That's what I love. I want to work with these two hands and this here brain and figure out a way to make a living. So today, that's how we're going to share it with you. The social media part of this farm business right here is 70% of the income of this farm. I want you to think about that really hard if you're considering homesteading or growing yourself a beautiful farm like this. You can do it, okay? 70% of the income off of this farm comes from social media. And this, all you guys that have left comments in the past, I knew you were a fake farmer. You don't have to be a fake farmer to create content around what you're doing. People are interested in this stuff. Everything that you do, somebody can learn from. Even if you screw it up, I'll tell you what, I learn a lot more by watching somebody else screw up or myself screwing up than I ever learned by doing it right. Don't you guys agree? Now, if 70% of it is social media, then 30% of it is farm, okay? This farm earned its first profit 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, and it earned like 9,000 bucks. Last year, it earned like 17,000 bucks. This year, we're into March already, and we haven't made a dime. All we've done is spend money. Every bale of hay I roll over in the fields out there cost me 50 bucks. It's expensive. We're in a drought situation right now, and it's costing me a ton. What am I doing right now to offset the cost of that stinking hay? What am I doing? We failed to put feed on there. Gosh, why didn't we put feed on here? Because this is a major expense. What, fertilizer too? Feed and fert. We put lime down on the fields. I put $12,000 worth of lime down on the pastures last year and $12,000 worth of lime down on the pastures this year. Without those social media videos and cattle sales, I would not have been able to do that. If 70% of my income on this farm comes from the social media and you aren't doing it and you're thinking about starting a farm, you better get on it and you better do it. Guys, it's spokes in a wheel. I earn money from creating videos. I earn money from selling beef. I earn money from selling cattle, eggs, and honey. I spend way more on the farm than I make on the farm. But the social media end of it is what has afforded me the opportunity to build something wonderful like this. I want you to think about this. You create this content for you, for yourself, for your family, and for the enjoyment and education of everyone around you. I am not a wealthy man. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I'm telling you guys, I have been so dirt poor. I lived in a trailer park in Utah and made $300 a month while I was going to college. I had no money. I can remember going to the store and getting those thrifty nickel newspapers and crumpling them up just so I had toilet paper. Like it would soften it up just so that I had toilet paper. But I started my own business, my first business back then while I was in college. It was called Mr. Fix-It Handyman Services. I love to work with my hands. I knew I needed a stable income. So if you're thinking about doing this and you're 23, 22, 27, 35 years old and you don't have an education, you don't have a marketable skill that you can fall back on, do that first. Don't go out here and bury yourself up to your eyeballs in debt and try to crawl out of it. You can't do it that way. You're going to have to make yourself marketable. Whether that's going to college and getting yourself an engineering degree or a science degree or a nursing degree, or whether that's going and getting your HVAC certification, your electrician. I was an electrician in the Air Force, by the way, working on the power lines, working on stuff like this that you see up in the ceiling that's not connected yet. I worked alongside carpenters, plumbers, electricians, HVAC guys, sheet metal workers, all that stuff, and I learned how to do all that, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right here. So get out there and make yourself a marketable individual. My father told me something when I was 14 years old, and it stuck with me for a very, very long time, all the way up to 47 so far. Learn how to do electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and weld, and you will never, ever, ever go hungry. Learn how to do that. Make yourself a marketable individual. Learn how to do that and then chase that dream and go full bore into it. I don't look good on camera. I don't look good on camera. I don't know how to film. I didn't know how to film. I don't know how to edit. I didn't edit. I don't know how to plow. I didn't know how to plow. Right? Before I came here and bought my farm, I'd never owned a tractor. I had never plowed a field. I had never disked a field. I had never picked up rocks. Well, I had picked up rocks as a kid in the garden. I'd never done any of this stuff. If you can do this, you can do that. If you can do that, you can do this. You have to be a well-rounded individual. If you're not a well-rounded individual, then don't even consider any of this. Don't even consider trying to start a farm. Guys, what I'm here to tell you is I'm not a rich guy. I'm not a wealthy guy. There's a dream that you might have to follow. Follow that dream, but remember about the spokes on the wheel. And in the center of the wheel is you. And every spoke is a new skill that you need to develop to make you successful. You're not going to go out there and do one thing and be super successful at it. You need to do 15 things to be super successful at this life. And if that's what you want, then go for it. If you want to be an airline pilot, focus on being an airline pilot. If you want to be a doctor, focus on being a doctor. But how many doctors do you know that don't know how to change a tire? Right? Focus on learning and developing marketable skills for yourself. It's all spokes inside the wheel, and you are the center of that wheel. And on the outside of this wheel, what holds it all together, this is success. Every spoke on that wheel right there is making this successful. You are the center. Guys, I hope this was inspirational for you. If you are deciding that you want to farm, you want to homestead, you want to find a way to eke your way into this, and you want to be able to save money and afford it, the thing to do is start creating a little bit of content. You're leaving one of your most valuable commodities on the table. I can go out here. I want you to hear me out. I'm going to leave you this statement. I can go out here and I can mow that pasture, right? And when I get done, it's mowed, and I look back on that pasture, and I'm proud of it, and it looks great. But if I go out there and I shoot a video mowing the pasture, and I talk to you about it, and I show you my technique, and I teach you how I do it, I can earn one more spoke on that wheel, which makes this thing work. And I can earn it forever. I don't care if you're a plumber or if you're a carpenter or if you're a stone worker, a stonemason, a welder, whatever it is that you're doing. Guys, you're leaving it on the table if you don't teach other people how to do it. And that's what I got into this for fun, enjoyment, to finance it, and to teach other people the best way that I can find to do the things that I do. Spokes on the wheel, you are the center of that wheel. This is success. Listen to your heart. Follow your dreams, guys. You can do it. Please come on back and see me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel again. I wanted to share with you how I earn a living, and it's just that simple. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Take care. I got to go feed them cows. Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Y'all come back now. You hear?